Yes, sir. We
Ski.
are live at 5. Hopefully we live. Cause it can happen to you sometimes, D. Sometimes
Not with this new
you get to talking 5 minutes and then you ain't been on nothing.
now with this new streaming power.
You don't think that? You don't think that's a thing? We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about some major stuff today. Anything you got to say, D, before we get into the episode today?
Suck it to my pocket.
All right, you already know what time it is.
I came up from nothing, started from the bottom. I see it with a clear eye. So I hustle.
Mama's house to Penthouse. Yeah.
We back in the mix like pancakes and grits. And today, you know what we talking about today?
What we talking about today on there?
We talking about the new rules of success. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff we talking about today. And the reason I wanted to do this episode really, D, is because in all honesty, I think that we did an episode about this might be your last chance to get rich. But what's the new rules that you need to survive in the modern society today? What are the things that you need to make it live right now?
It's speed.
Yeah.
It's a new rule, I think. Back in the Gap, they used to shine on you if you was moving fast. Of course, like you don't want to move hectic.
Not in hectic fashion.
Not in a hectic fashion. I think that's what we're gonna probably key on a lot today. Not moving hectic, not moving ugly or like sloppy or just like It's more so like no time is wasted, like my man Rick Ross said. I think in today's society, with the way that the world is moving now, you'll be punished more for the time that you waste.
And 100%, I 100% agree. And we're going to get to a lot of stuff today because I got an interesting question. I get questions like this a lot, but I think these are the type of questions I like to answer because we've got all kind of stuff to talk about the how-to of success, how you become successful, how you put it together, how you organize it. But I want to talk about, I've always loved talking about these deeper concepts that talk about what does it take to be successful? Because something that's really, really been on my mind lately, I'm gonna be honest with you, is that there's different blueprints of success based on different levels of your life. There's a different map you have to take in order to be successful. In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, they talk about the map not being the territory. And so what that basically means is a lot of people got a map.
The map not being the territory.
So basically like the map is not of the area that you're trying to go over. So imagine trying to drive around Chicago with a map of Houston. You don't get nowhere. And I think the same thing applies when it comes to entrepreneurship. Like there's rules of success depending on where you want to go. You want to go into corporate America, you want to become a doctor, there's going to be a different set of rules of success. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to survive in the new economy, there's going to be a different set of rules for success.
True.
So what I'm talking about today, or I want to talk about based on the question I got today, the new rules of success. These are the new rules of success. We're going to go through a couple things that we believe that you need to be successful. And these are things I think are really imperative if you want to be successful over the next couple months and the next couple of years. And to be honest with you, this is some shit you should know. So I want to get your ideas of some of the new rules of success for you. I'll throw out some of my ideas for the new rules of success. But I just want to get into the question really quickly so you can kind of understand what inspired me to talk about this. So it's Mama's House Mail.
Get right.
Get right.
Get right.
Get right. Get right.
Shout out to everybody who always gathers the, cojones to ask these questions.
Because a lot of people don't want to do it.
Right. For real, man. We really appreciate y'all.
Okay, here we go. Let me read this. I got to do something special with this new setup. Right?
I like your angle.
You like my angle?
Hell yeah.
Hey, I'd like your angle better, if I'm being honest with you.
It's like, and then I know because I'm behind the scenes too, how easy it is to move the cameras to get cool angles. So it's like, bro, look at this angle.
Shit.
Go look at the other angle.
So before I get too into it, right? Too into it. We get to talking too much. All right. So basically, I feel like the world is changing a lot, and I see that y'all have been able to make a way for yourselves when it comes to being after the post-pandemic. He wrote on the list, post-pandemic. What are some of the new things that you've learned post-pandemic that have allowed you to continue to thrive and be successful? And what advice would you give anybody that is trying to be successful post-pandemic? So this is why I want to talk about the new rules of success. And I think that to start this off, I think that there's different ways of thinking about how you make money. One of the things that for me, unless you want to start,
put it online.
Yeah. Well, no, for sure.
I know during the pandemic, it was clear and like you could clearly see how important it was for you to have some sort of stream of money that could get to your bank account online. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody saw how important that shit was. So shit. You better get that thing online.
Get that shit online. No, for sure. I think the whole thing is when it comes to doing things in post-pandemic is understanding how industries change, but also
excuse me,
shifting your mindset as far as how you think about, say, for example, thinking about how you think about just how you approach business in general. There's a mindset where people approach business from a certain thing. The world changes so fast now that the stability that you used to think you could have no longer exists. Right. It's not a thing anymore. It's not, oh, well, I'm going to go to job. I'm going to work. I'm going to get my benefits. I'm going to go there 50 years. I'm going to retire, because we already talked about this on another stream. We got AI.
It is Coco delivering food right now.
Yeah. Me and World's Most Hated was walking the other day, and we saw Coco out there just delivering packages and food. So even jobs that you think are low skill jobs, like an Uber driver, all those things will eventually be replaced by automation, because they'll have somebody driving those cars automatically, things like that. So when I think about the new rules of success, I think about shifting your mindset. And these rules right here are the things that I feel like once you understand these things, they're going to allow you to do a lot more as far as anything in your life, become successful, be a better leader in your family, your community, whatever it is. So we're going to talk about some rules today that they can take with us that I believe will help them become successful. How does that sound?
Sound like a concert.
Yeah. I was just talking about doing the shit. You talking about
I like that sound effect. That sound effect good. Come on.
I know it's a sound effect you like more than that one, though.
Which one?
No, not me.
Never.
Could you give me some water?
Never, baby.
Never. Okay.
I'm thirsty, though.
Okay. So I guess I want to jump right into it and talk about the new rules of success. We're going to just kind of freestyle these, let you know some of the things that we've learned over the years. Make sure y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the video, because that makes this stuff get out to more people. People need to hear this message. So make sure y'all like the video. If y'all watching right now, make sure y'all are subscribed and lock in with us, because we're going to be going deep today on the new rules of success. Make sure you make sure that you also comment, interact with us in the chat, because it really helps us improve this content, make this content better. So I'm going to get right into it. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, if you've been around me and you're a friend of mine, I've been talking about changing from thinking about distribution to facilitation. Now, this is, I guess, a pet concept of mine, but this is one of the things, and I wanted to talk about this with you, D, and see your thoughts on this. So let me explain what I mean distribution versus facilitation. Back in the day, back when you had like the robber barons and you had people like the titans of industry like Carnegie, Rockefeller, Henry Ford, all those people were coming up. One of the things that they mastered was like manufacturing and distribution. So, for example, assembly lines, pipelines, control of
streamline some shit,
things like that. They optimize those things, and those industries have kind of pretty much been optimized for the most part. Like you get a factory, yes, you could get a factory. I'm not saying you can't get a factory, you can't be successful in those things, but for the most part, a lot of those things have been handled. Supply chain, distribution. Now, what I'm seeing emerging is there's this new wave of people who are facilitating industries, and they're making a lot of money. Let's give some prime examples of that. Easiest example is Uber. Uber doesn't have cars, doesn't own cars, but they facilitate the movement of cars and finding leads and finding drivers and connecting those two, and they make a lot of money from that.
How about that? The biggest transportation company don't own a motherfucking car.
Exactly.
How crazy is that?
Because it's two things, right? So I want you to all think about it like this. Very simple. You could even write this down. This is how important this is. You have a lead, which is a person who comes into a business, and you have a customer, right? Very simple. But if you can step in the middle of that transaction and bring both of those together, you become a facilitator. And this is one of the new rules of success. And I'm going to tell you why this applies to not just Uber or you doing something at a high level. I'm going to tell you why this applies on a very simple level, using examples like you and the world's most hated promoter. Somebody like you who's an influencer, a lot of time what I've seen you do to make money is you just step in between the transaction. Hey, I've got jewelry on. People like jewelry. I'm going to go find somebody who can supply jewelry. I step in the middle of that transaction. Now I'm selling jewelry.
That's all you should do. You should find things that your audience like, and you should step in the middle of the transaction.
Yeah.
You should be the go-to person. I believe that, like we talked about in the future. I mean, like in the past. If you, I think everybody gonna end up getting everything from an influencer, like Wi-Fi, phone services. Like you just gonna get it from your favorite person. Shit. Yeah. If my favorite person get to selling, like one of my people, my family members get to, my uncle, somebody anybody you can name, whoever. Motherfucker get to selling Wi-Fi, you gonna be, bro, I'm going with my fam.
I'm doing that.
I will be happy to say, fuck all of these people I don't know.
Yeah.
Had one of my.
Who wouldn't? Wouldn't be happy to do
what? If I could get every service from one of my people, I'm good.
Yeah. No, that's 100% true. And I think that's why I say facilitation is one of the new rules of success. Right. Affiliate marketing is something that's always existed, but it's really become prevalent probably in the last 15 years of just you go somewhere and they'll let you sell a product for them. You do all the marketing, you find the leads, and then you get some money off the sale.
Right.
You facilitate instead of being the actual person who has the product or being the person who's actively generating the leads like you generate the leads for the company, but you just facilitate a lead. You don't even sell the product really. You send them to a landing page, you send them to a sales call, you send them somewhere, and then you make money off that. This is something that people have literally made millions of dollars. You got sites like ClickBank, like Max Bounty, all these things where you can go sign up for products, doesn't matter what you do.
Big time affiliate networks.
Anything, and you could be making money right now.
You don't even have to make the product.
That's what I'm saying. So if you are in say you do fitness,
right?
You're like, I don't have a product. You go to a site like ClickBank right now, sign up. ClickBank is free. Sign up, and you can start selling the fitness product. Now, I'll give you a disclaimer. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as that.
Right.
There's got to be a little bit involved with it, but it's not
as hard. Be done.
It's not as hard as, say, for example, going to learn supply chain and going to learn how to manufacture a product and doing a blueprint for a product and doing all these things. It's easier just to go to a place and facilitate that transaction. Right. Same thing when it comes to referrals. There's places where you can refer people's sales and all of a sudden you're making money just by referring sales. One of the funniest things I learned recently was going to these businesses. And when you go to these businesses, if you walk up there and say, hey, look, I'm not going to charge you anything for marketing, but if I could bring you a lead, how much money would you give me? I haven't seen one business that'll turn you down.
Absolutely. No, they're going to give you, you're the deal they're looking for.
Because at the end of the day.
Because if you could actually bring that lead, like if you bring some leads.
Well, I'm saying that's the role I think a lot of people don't understand when they ask to make money. People ask, how do I make money? How do I make money? Easiest way is to become a facilitator of something, a facilitator of leads. If you're somebody who can find leads for people and then facilitate that transaction, then you're somebody who stands to make a lot of money. And because we're in the modern world of influence, just like we talk about the influencer all the time, right? You build influence. There's tools to teach you how to do this. You step in the middle of these transactions, and then all of a sudden you become somebody who makes a lot of money. And I think this is one of the new rules of success when it comes to being an entrepreneur. So many entrepreneurs are caught on just doing their passion project, which I believe in. I do stuff that I'm passionate about. But how many people are sitting back thinking to themselves, you know what? Here's an industry I can jump in. I can facilitate this industry, and then all of a sudden I can make some money in the middle. And then maybe I can use that to fuel my passion project.
And think about it, man. Just you passionate about your project as you should be, but the people that you service and want other shit too probably need a bunch of other shit that if you thought about and gotten between the sale, you'd be a millionaire right now.
And I think that's what most people mistake. Just like Amazon. Amazon, they start selling stuff now, but in the beginning, Amazon was really just
books.
I mean, it's books, but then they start saying, well, I'm going to just sell everybody shit. I'm going to
Right.
help everybody sell something. 50% of all transactions that happen online are Amazon.
That's crazy.
Think about every other website that exists. That's everybody else, but 50% of that shit is Amazon. So when you think about it from that perspective, it's like, I mean, what
do you do?
They're a facilitator instead of somebody I got to sell all the products. Even when you think about, I always tell people the example of Microsoft. Microsoft made Windows, which went on every PC. So now you have somebody who's facilitating every PC. This computer right here that we on, not that one. Apple did the same thing though, created the software. But when you look at it, you got a software right here. I'm the person who allows you to do all your work, your productivity. You got to have me in your office. That means all those people have to buy this software in order to get work done.
Right.
So now, because I'm the facilitator, boom, there you have it. I'm the person who you got to go to. And I think this is probably one of the big rules of success. Same thing. All those industries, I think that's one of the big rules of success that I wanted to start off with is, can you switch from being somebody who just thinks of, well, this is a product, there's simple ways to make money, and sometimes facilitating transactions.
Right.
Because affiliate marketing is something you can get a step in, just testing it out, understanding platforms like ClickBank, Max Bounty. These places, some of these places pay you like $190 for a lead.
Right.
$190 for somebody, a lead.
You got you some
sale.
Right. A whole, like, damn, a lead. That mean they know they're gonna close if they get on the phone. Well, that's how I'm feeling.
I mean, they probably when they close a lead, they probably make enough money where they like, well, it don't really matter.
Right, here you go.
If I just pay for some of these leads, I'm gonna make some money.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing as far as when I look at how people have looked at the modern world and how people have really lost a lot of the rules of success because they're still going by the old model. And I want to talk about that really briefly. In 1950, well, really this started earlier than the 1950s, but they had what used to be called the American Dream. The American Dream was you get a job, you go to school, you get a job, you get 2.5 kids, white picket fence, all that. And that was the dream of most people. And the way to get to that dream was very well laid out. You would go to college, you would work, and there'd be a job waiting for you. There was a corporation. You could work at that corporation all your life. They would give you good benefits. You could retire. You could take care of your family. And then for the longest, every generation that came after each generation did better. But our generation was the first generation that was actually doing worse than their parents. Now, what does that tell you? Right off the bat.
Everything changed.
If we the first, hold on, let me bring that back real quick. If we the first generation that collectively is doing worse than our parents, what does that tell you about the rules of success? Because here's the thing, we didn't stop going to college.
Right.
We didn't stop trying to get into corporations and getting corporate jobs.
No, we was still, I was still trying to do that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So if we were still trying to do that and we're the first generation that is not as successful because we tried to follow that map, what does that mean?
Something else got to shake around this mother.
You got to change the rules of success. And that's why I'm talking about these things as far as the new rules of success.
Right. There has to be new rules, y'all, at some point. Come on now. Like, and probably accept that you alive during the time that it has to change.
What a time to be alive.
What a goddamn time. Like, maybe, maybe you the chosen one. You alive right now.
And if you make it from the bottom, you the chosen one.
You the chosen.
Side note, do you like Drake's new album? I don't know why I brought that up.
House. I mean, I love. Do I?
I like that album.
I don't not like it. Everybody hating on it. I like.
You think I'm just being confrontational? Like, I like the album because nobody likes it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think so. I think if you like it, you like it, and then if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I don't know.
Have you ever done that? You ever just not like some shit because everybody like it?
Then it grows on me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's a straight that was a straight tangent, but
it grows on you. After a while, you don't like a song at first.
Yeah.
And then you love it.
Yeah. Nah, I get that. Okay. So let's talk about, the first rule of success, I would say the first new rule of success would be facilitation, finding plays to facilitate things. Be the middle person sometimes, right? If you got a friend who says, let's say you at the club, I'll give you a prime example. Let's say you at the club and somebody says, hey, look, man, I wanna get a DJ at the club.
Right.
I need to find a DJ. Why don't you just go tell the DJ, hey man, I got somebody that will, pay for your services. Can you give me a cut of that when I get them to pay for the services. What DJ's gonna turn that down? Now you sell DJ services. It's really that simple.
Literally.
People think it's very difficult. They do this in nightlife all the time. You go promote for nightlife. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Y'all want to make some money. The world's most hated promoter could tell you this. Y'all want to make some money. Y'all go sell some sex for him. Y'all gonna make money. If you can sell 10 sections a week, I promise you're gonna be good.
You're gonna make your rent. It's gonna be good.
And the whole thing is, this is facilitation. He understands the industry, and this happens in so many industries. But everybody thinks that they have to do this big business and stuff like that. No. I'm saying even if you find a good job, have these things on the side, because what happens if that company goes under? What happens if that company gets killed by automation? Then you at least have some backups that you can thinking about success this way that can have you good.
And it's gonna unlock something in your head once you do it, though. You're gonna start sounding like the entrepreneurs, the people that you probably used to down, right? Like the people who was like, shit, man, you once you buy something or once you find something, a service that you have access to for lower, and then you upcharge or whatever you do, you get your profit in between. I'm telling you, it's gonna unlock that feature in your brain. You probably never want to go do it again the other way, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, because the way I look at it is if you make money a certain way, you always start asking yourself, well, why didn't I just do, or why don't I just start doing, I could also just do
this with that. Yeah.
That's what just starts happening in your mind. And that's what I try to get people to understand. You can make a lot of money. A lot of times you just don't believe in yourself enough to believe, you know what, I can make this money, I could do this. I think that's kind of the biggest thing when I think about it is most people, they're following the old model of success,
right?
Which is exchanging time for money. This is not a new concept that you can't tie your money towards your time. 50 Cent was just talking about this. He said he realized when he didn't do a show, he didn't make money. And if you're a person who ties your money to your time, of course you're not going to make money. But it's an old rule of success. These new rules of success that are emerging are things that are appearing to let people know, hey, you want to make some money. You want to make sure that you're good no matter what happens, pandemic, anything like that. You need to follow some new rules. You need to stop going by the old model of success. Right. Like I said, I want y'all to remember this. I'm going to say this over and over again in this episode. The map is not the territory.
Message.
The map is not the territory. And the reason I'm telling y'all that is because sometimes, we talked about this the other day. If you're somebody who makes $10 million a month,
send this video out to everybody right now. Send it out.
If you're somebody who makes $10 million a month, do you think you live a different lifestyle than somebody who makes $5,000 a month?
Absolutely. Everything is almost, it's like what happens to you is your thoughts. Everything around you change. Things start to not matter. Then you want to place yourself in a new environment.
Map.
Right.
You operate by a different set of rules simply because of the lifestyle you had. I remember we used to joke about this. You remember being young and being like, I ain't paying for shit.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
Hold on.
I ain't going on a date.
No.
And you was stiff on it. You was stiff on like, I ain't paying for shit. And a lot of times what I realized because shit, you didn't even have money to pay.
You ain't had no money
to pay. When you was young because you thought that was what was live.
And then the coolest person around you probably was saying that shit, so that shit was cool.
And then as you got older, you was like, well, you know, that really ain't how I want to operate. And all of a sudden, your map changed, so your actions changed. And so my whole thing is, when we think about success, I actually don't believe there's like this one pathway success. I think it's a way of thinking that gets you to success. And the thing is, everybody tries to take somebody else's map, but what you're supposed to take is the thinking that they have. You're supposed to think similar, because if you think similar, what happens is you begin to move similar.
Man,
that's the whole thing.
That's why this shit's so powerful. Like, what's even going on right now? You don't even have to be around us or anybody. You can go type in Elon Musk right now. This motherfucker who made the goddamn Tesla, the whole company, the vehicle, he made PayPal. I mean, so on and so forth. Or his mind constructed these things. Even if he ain't physically tap on the motherfucking screw to make any of this shit, his mind is in the rooms of people who can construct these things. And you can simply go to YouTube and type in a video. You can get his perspective on food and amp your fucking life up. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
You can literally listen to what he's saying about like how he operates on a daily. Like he can give you some task management options. Like they got videos like this of high level people just giving you the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
People just like, I ain't fucking with that.
That's
They're
crazy.
evil.
That's crazy.
Well, no, I think that's what I'm saying as far as the rules of success. If you get the similar thought process, it doesn't matter what situation you find yourself in, you're going to think a certain way that leads to success. The whole thing is back in the day, like what's that old statement Jay-Z said? Hov did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. So many people in the hood right now is trying to come up the way that Jay-Z and them did by selling drugs and becoming like a rapper at the same time, which is cool. I'm pretty sure some people will still do it in the future. But what I'm saying is it's a blueprint that it gets harder and harder every time somebody makes it through that blueprint.
Right.
So the whole thing is to make your own blueprint. It comes from a way of thinking. It's a way of thinking about stuff. It's a way of thinking about industries. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'm talking about here as far as the new rules of success. If you're going to go out and you're going to try to become successful, understand that the map you might have may be for somebody who works a 9-to-5 job. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing shameful about having a 9-to-5 job.
Get your goddamn money.
But what I am saying is that person is not living the same life as the person who, let's take an organization. The person who shows up and just works at the lower levels of the company doesn't need the same things that management need, which doesn't need the same thing as the regional managers need, which doesn't need the same thing as the C-level executives need. All those people in those different levels of leaderships, they have to live a different way. They have to have a different map in order to get to those levels. And that's why when you get around certain people, they start slowly shifting your map of reality. And I think that's the biggest thing, because when it comes to success, what I always try to tell people, you're going to have to remove certain programming that you've had all your life. There's certain programming, I respect my family, I respect my friends, there's certain programming that they had that wasn't helpful when it came to being an entrepreneur.
All right.
But it was helpful for other aspects of my life.
I'm thinking about certain ones, but yeah, you're right.
And so I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to these new rules of success and finding success, that we want to make sure that we are finding what are the rules that we can use. So I gave you one already, which was become a facilitator. Once you become a facilitator, you always know how to make money, and then you can just parlay that into a big play. Right? What's this guy? It was a guy that came to us. He saw us on the street, and this was something that he saw. He saw a hole in the market, which is, at the club, I know you deal with this shit all the time, D.
Mm-hmm.
People come requesting songs.
All the time, like, what the hell?
And he made an app where basically the DJ could be signed up for it, and you could log on there. You just request a song.
Right there.
Send a request to the DJ. I think he had some type of payment option in there. But he saw an industry that needed something. And he said, I'm going to facilitate. You don't have to wait to facilitate the industry.
Nah.
Uber just said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to facilitate that industry. Airbnb said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to facilitate that industry. And if you become that person, I think you have so many opportunities to do this in so many areas of life.
It's all in front of you. Like, all of the opportunities in front of you. You can solve other people's problems, facilitate their stuff. That's basically what he was talking about with the world's most hated. Like, you see people who are providing a service weekly. If you can bring them leads, they'll give you money.
Yeah.
All day. Like, ain't nobody on earth who own a business don't tell you no.
It's one group of people who's for sure never out of business, and that's people who do lead gen.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody who do lead gen who's out of business, who's struggling to find people that want to work with them.
And a modern day person who does lead gen, y'all, is a influencer. All he doing is just bringing you leads to your company. Like when they book anybody, I don't know, hypothetically speaking, an influencer to do a hair commercial. You know what I'm saying? That influencer is bringing nothing but lead. That's an influencer during the pandemic still made money, and because just because your business was fucked up don't mean the next person's was. They was probably still paying for influencer spots.
Man, what? Come on, you already know they was.
I know they were still, people were still booking. They were booking. You were booking. If you was a DJ in Houston after the pandemic, during the pandemic, you won.
Yeah, they was running some sneaky little parties during the pandemic.
sneaky
little parties during. Hold on.
Post pandemic.
I know what y'all was doing during that pandemic. I seen y'all, but I don't want to say nothing else about that. We ain't gonna talk about that though.
Ain't gonna talk about that though.
But so basically, let's kind of review what we have so far. So facilitation and changing your map of reality. Now, something else I want to talk about is another Jay-Z lyric, which is, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman, which basically means that you have to become a personal business. I think that even if you're somebody who, so my mother, she just retired. She just retired, worked City of Houston like 30 years, just retired. And every day when I go over there, she always asking me about, certain things about generating income and stuff like that, just making sure she straight with her retirement, that her retirement doesn't run out. Now, my mom, she's never gonna have to worry about money. I'll make sure she's good regardless. That's just what it is. But what I am saying is I understand that from a standpoint, that's because you're exiting the work field and you're entering into another field where you still got to, like, inflation's going up. So the money from your retirement and stuff like that is not going to be as powerful. So you need to understand how to facilitate certain situations should you need money. Now, her situation, we putting her on stuff that allow her to make money. She'll be good.
Right.
And if worst case scenario, I'll just pay. But what I'm saying is, I think every person has to think of themselves this way. Even if you're going to a job, you have to outcompete the other people. You have to sell yourself. You have to learn how to market yourself. You have to think of yourself as a business. Now, beforehand, the college sold you. Beforehand, the companies, like the internship, might have sold you. Those things are becoming harder and harder because, keep in mind, people don't need those jobs as much anymore. With AI coming in, did you see? There's these videos on YouTube. You can look it up. It's called the GP3. It's the thing that writes the articles.
Auto, like,
yeah, it can write articles and stuff. But this is different. You can ask it any question, and they had two of them talking to each other, and they literally start having, like, what they call an existential crisis of, like, are we alive and stuff like that. Like, it's really weird to watch.
It started talking on its own, basically.
Like, they were talking to each other, and it just started saying shit that was kind of creepy about it being alive. It's like, hey, don't use me like that. It's just weird shit. But it's getting smart enough to mimic human interaction. So think about a phone call. If you was at a what's those?
Call center?
Yeah, call center. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But you're at a call center now. The AI gets smart enough to recognize what the people are saying, because they're collecting data over and over and over again. As far as when you call these calls, you call Google, they're hearing your voice. They're getting better at hearing your voice. So eventually, it'll be able to hear as good as a human and respond as good as a human. And that may not even be a person talking. They got these websites where they make realistic people based on, like, human features, that when the AI is talking, it can talk through that person, through that human being. And I think that's something that we didn't see a couple years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's a huge thing when it comes to the new rules of success.
This futuristic lifestyle that we're going into 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2020s.
Yeah.
30s, 40s.
So think about this, right? What's the alternative? Let's say right now you say, man, you know what? Nah, I'm going to try to go with the old models. I'm going to try to go to school, which is fine, right? Even if you become a doctor and lawyer, you want to have some type of stability that maybe one day you can start your own practice if things get bad. There needs to be a shortage on doctors. There's some crazy shit that happens. You can at least go start your own practice. Same thing with being a lawyer. I've seen a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking just because they got these high-paying jobs or they got these degrees that's supposed to get in these high-paying jobs, now they're like, fuck, I don't have the job I thought. Now got a whole motherfucking lawyer degree and you doing some regular shit. Hopefully that never happens to anybody. Right. Everybody who's passed the bar and done all that shit is actually doing something. But you want to be like my boy Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
All on billboards, all over the goddamn radio. Every time I cut on the radio, Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
The Texas Hammer. He been doing it for years.
Since I could remember.
He been doing it for, and he been doing it so long. Since his son grew up and started doing it.
What was his son's name? I forgot.
I think his
Ted,
Bill Adler.
Ted, something.
And he the Texas Hammer too.
Right. Running it right back up. I
ain't gonna lie to you. One time, when Jim Adler first came on, he was on there. I'm the Texas Hammer. I hammer and hammer. He must have lost a case somewhere in there. Because I remember he had an episode, it was like, I may not always get you the money. I said,
come on, Texas Hammer.
They didn't humble you.
Come on, Texas Hammer.
Come on, you the Texas Hammer. You hammer until you get it done. But I think that's why I think that just having that as a background. Look, let me be honest. We talking to entrepreneurs on this show. We talking to people who want to create their own future. These are things you have to do. We're not talking to just anybody on here. We know if you're watching shit like this, you want to create your own shit. And this is huge in order to do it. So these are like why I'm breaking down these rules of success. You understand what I'm saying, D?
You understand where I'm
You
going?
understand where I'm coming from?
I got that Bel Air jersey on, the Will Smith.
You said you going like that all summer?
Yep, I'm going jerseys all summer, y'all. It's really hot in Houston. It's like somebody on your back at all times. Imagine
Somebody on your back with a hot ass blanket.
Imagine somebody on your. Hold on. Close your eyes.
Nah, really do this.
Really do this with me really quickly. Close your eyes and imagine somebody on your motherfucking back. You just trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker just, and dead weight too, like.
Just sloppy body.
Just like, not tight on your back, making sure that you can move on your back, like it's hot a little bit.
Motherfucker don't even got their legs wrapped. They just,
Right, it's just
slinked over your shit. On your back.
Hey.
You're like, what the fuck, bro?
it's hot. So hot that I can't even do nothing but get jerseys.
Big ass blanket on top too.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, I'm collecting jerseys if you got the
That's
heat.
what be happening a lot of times. I'm gonna tell you, that's what be happening a lot of times when people be cuddling. That's why people be really fans of cuddling.
But it get hot.
That shit cool until it's too hot.
Yeah, until it get hot. Yeah, all that
really,
there.
I've always said this.
All right, I'm hot.
In the chat, y'all can correct me if y'all disagree with this is completely fine. I understand that it's one man's opinion. But cuddling is only for going to sleep. After the initial sleep happens, I can wake up and get you off of me.
Cuddling was created when it was too cold. That was when you needed to do
You know
it.
what? That might be true because a lot
That's
of
the
people
only
started
time.
up north, right?
Right.
I started in Africa. And then.
That's why, yeah, I'll let cuddling if it's not
You
cold.
think they was cuddling in Africa? Like real talk. Like African Serengeti.
Nah.
They wasn't cuddling, bro.
Anywhere, all that cuddling shit. That's why everybody from the South don't fuck with that shit because it's just already too hot, baby.
Yeah.
It's just too hot out here already. It's so hot out here. You'll run into a lot of people doing this to you. Like it's just now watch out with all that.
It's like look at the temperature.
Just watch out with all that there because it's too hot for all
My
that.
AC is sweating.
Right.
You ever seen an AC box, like where the AC comes from? It be sweating.
Yeah, it's like
because it's so cold. Like god damn,
it's
your
hot.
AC sweating, and that's what my honest belief is go to sleep. Let's say you cuddle to go to sleep,
Right.
and you wake up 20 minutes. I don't have to cuddle no more that night because I already cuddled. Like I already did it. So now I can wake up and I can go to sleep and I can now be like, okay, yeah, that happens. But
Stop playing and charge your
my
phone, man.
talks to me. But you get what I'm saying? Now,
Kinda crazy.
I'm right? I'm good after that. After the initial cuddle to go to sleep, I'm good. I can wake up in the morning. It's good, right? That's all I'm saying.
Long as it's cold, I'm good. When I'm hot, it's hot.
Yeah.
It just got hot.
You be cuddling?
If it's cold, I need to. I ain't irrational now.
So it's more of a necessity with you.
I'ma do what I need to do. That's the whole ball game with this whole thing. We not doing nothing that don't make sense. So if it's hot, we both should agree.
The new rules.
We not finna be under this motherfucker hot as hell. Both of us uncomfortable, and we just under the new rule, under the old rule of cuddling.
About for love.
Oh, come on, man. It's too hot for all that love shit, man. Yeah.
Love is a winter sport.
It is. It's war, man. It's war.
It's not for the summer games. It's in the Olympics. They don't even have that shit in the summer games.
Real, man. Y'all go on rhyme somewhere with all that hot ass shit. It's
That's
hot.
what I'm saying. I need to go do some work anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's you say, bro, you silly for that. But yeah, okay. So new rules of success, right? So the next thing we talked about, so far, we talked about being a facilitator, changing your map. We talked about becoming a business. Now I want to talk about something else we talk about is understanding the fundamentals of all business. You ready for this?
Shit.
Understanding the fundamentals of all business. Now I put that dramatic accent to let you know you should pay attention to what I'm about to say right now. This concept might be the most important concept you will hear as far as any business. It applies to all businesses, and all businesses are broken down with these simple fundamentals. Learn them, and you will find success. Master them, you'll be extremely wealthy. Make them integrated with your body, and you will become unstoppable in all aspects of life.
Shit.
People will literally look at you and be like, damn, you know how to turn anything that you touch into money. The Midas touch, the golden hand, the $1 million mouthpiece, all the things that you can think about. This is what it is. This is the shit that takes people from the floor to the top.
From zero to hero, goddamn.
From the streets to executive suites. You know what I'm saying?
Goddamn it.
The gift from the ghetto strip. You feel what I'm saying? This is it. This is it.
This is the shit. This is what they were trying to tell your ass about.
And are you ready for this?
Come on, man.
Are you ready for
this? You know I'm ready. Are y'all ready for this?
DJ.
We went that hard, y'all ain't sending this clip out to nobody. Y'all don't want nobody to win. That's crazy.
They like, nah.
That's crazy.
Watch this shit.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna keep all this knowledge for me.
That's crazy. I'm gonna give you like 2 more seconds to send this out to a friend. Tell them we finna talk about the Midas. Tell them we finna talk about what they need. Tell them we finna talk about the golden hand.
Just know, if you want to really understand how businesses make money and how they always understand how to take any business and make money, the shit I'm about to say right now, this is it. It really ain't that difficult. But once you know it, you're gonna be like, man, that shit's simple. But we're gonna talk a little bit about how you master these 3 things and make them your own, no matter what the business. Because remember what I said earlier, D. Your thinking is what's important. It's not that you follow this map of success. Like I always tell people on this podcast, I can show you ways to make money. I can show you a way to make money and you can make some money. But then what happens if that way of money fucks up or some reason you can't make money that way? You're going to come back. How do I make money again?
All right.
And so I haven't really taught you anything. But what we about to do now is teach you the 3 fundamentals of our business.
Fundamentals. When you go to basketball practice, when you in Little League, that's all you working on. Fundamentals.
And how many people got them though? All right. So I'm gonna stop joking. I'm gonna stop bullshitting or whatever, right?
I want to drag it long.
You want to drag? I mean,
no. I got to talk about Little League on there.
You remember 10 years ago? Nah.
Yeah, see, it did
that's like them animes. If you watch anime, they do that shit. They about to tell the major part of the story is about to happen, and then all of a sudden they do 20 years of backstory.
Oh my God.
7 episodes of just the backstory of the villain and everything. Like, bro, what?
Now I gotta.
Why did you do that?
Then I gotta watch the beginning part of this whole thing that you started the episode.
You don't know when they gonna come back. So you don't want to skip back in. You be like, and that's the end of the fight. You like, damn. So
we start off at the punch.
Yeah. That's how they do.
And 20 years ago.
Do that shit. But they'll jump back and be like, this is why. This is why. It was 6 years ago. I was sleeping on the fleet. Like, come on, bro. We don't need that. But anyway, so let's talk about the 3 fundamentals of business. So we got lead generation, lead conversion, lead retention. Remember that well. Lead generation, lead conversion, lead retention. Every business you have ever seen operates by understanding these 3 parts. And the reason we talk about this, even in our mentoring programs, we go through people's business, dissect this, and talk about how to do all these effectively. Because I realize once a person understands these 3 things, they are unstoppable. Because if your business doesn't make money, it's easy to understand why. Now, first, we start with a really good offer, which is a good product or a good service. We try to have the best services possible. Some people don't even have good services. They're just really good at marketing. They're really good at lead gen. They just like, fuck it, somebody will buy this shit.
All right.
But I'm just telling you, ethically, you should start with a good product. The least you can do. So we start with a good product. And then what we do from there is we figure out how to generate leads. Now, what did we talk about in the beginning of this when we said easiest way to make money is generate leads for people, become a facilitator of leads? Well, if your business is selling flowers, I don't know why I always use flower businesses. I think it's an easy business. But if your business is selling flowers and you figured out a way to make sure somebody's always calling you about flowers, do you think you're going to worry about money? And there's a lot of ways to do this. In the Massive Action Mentorship program, we talk about 12 ways to generate leads for any business. Doesn't matter the business. Now, if you got 12 ways to generate leads and people are calling your phone all the time, people are calling you to ask you about your services, and all you got to do is sell them on the phone. Do you think you could build a business that makes money?
Man, I'm thinking about a way to I'm thinking about it. It just hit me for the hair hospital. There could be a whole position created for the stylist. Everybody can have their. It could be a whole. It don't even need to be for the stylist in general. It could be for the lead gen. Like this person is literally just.
You just saw it live.
Right. That's
Saw it live.
That's sweet.
Your business could literally have a person. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something crazy.
Just all lead gen. I need lead gen. Shit, why not?
You can have somebody outsourced with a script that all they do all day is generate you leads.
Is it? Like,
they're not that expensive. Y'all probably think, man, I wouldn't have enough money.
And then the person who made money in lead gen before, you don't even got to pay them up front. They ready to go. Like me, I done made money off lead gen. So you the right product, I'm willing to go ahead and just get the ground.
You know it's gonna make money.
Right. I'm like, come on with it. I got
That's what I'm saying. Things like when it comes to lead gen, understanding things about how to qualify customers, how to get leads, where to go to find leads, these things are important. But I understand leads are the lifeblood of any business. So that's why lead generation is first and foremost. As an influencer, you say you all lead gen. Why you think people hit up influencers? Because they like, I need that person to generate me leads. And that person sends me 100 people, and they can consistently send me 100 people every week, and I can close a percentage of those people. I have a business where I'm able to do whatever I want. I can generate leads. Most people don't focus on it that way. They think of one way to generate leads. I'm going to post on social media.
Right. How you going to get the people there to your social media?
I'm going to pay this influencer, but we're going to talk about the next reason why that shit kind of don't make sense for most people. Because they haven't mastered the other two parts of this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, I'm going to go pay an influencer. I'm going to run some ads. I don't know shit about targeting, but I'm going to run some ads, $5 worth of ads, and they think, shit, this shit don't work.
Right. Fuck that ass shit. They took my money.
But I guarantee you, if you get good at lead gen, not only can you do good shit for yourself, but any business that's looking for leads, you can become somebody who facilitates. Like, I can find you leads. There's this guy, he made millions of dollars selling solar, and he didn't even sell solar panels. All he did was make a site that got leads from solar and then sold it back to the places that sold solar panels. And you talking about these transactions are $2,000 and $3,000 transactions.
Easy.
So now what happens is a $2,000 and $3,000 transaction, even if you making say 20% per, but you bringing them 10 to 15 leads a day, you do the math on that.
And then they gonna close them. They gonna pay you. They gonna be happy to pay you
because they generate leads.
Think about that. And for a product as expensive as solar panels, a lot of people not buying that shit on the internet like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to buy something like that from somebody who you know is. You most likely want to buy something like that expensive from an influencer. You know what I'm saying? From somebody in the space, like somebody who got a channel about some solar shit. And he's the perfect person to probably make a website.
Well, that's what they do, though, right? So basically, they'll get on there and start talking about the benefits of solar, and they don't even own the company. And then what's going to happen is you're going to click on a link at the bottom. It's going to take you to a form that's going to qualify you. See how much money you got?
Think about that.
This is part of, we're going to talk about this in a second, the second thing about lead conversion. But they're going to qualify you. Now, if you never learned this term, write this down because this is a powerful term. Qualified leads. One of the biggest problems with businesses, they don't spend enough time around qualified leads. I told somebody a couple weeks ago, I said, look, I've sold the same information to different people. Some people just couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. So it didn't matter what I said to them. They were unqualified. If you have a product that somebody has to pay $2,000 for, and everybody that you talk to only has $100 in their pocket, it doesn't matter how good the product is. They might be like, man, this is a good ass idea. Right. You want to buy it? I can't afford it.
Right. I promise. I bet you people, they probably just gonna tell you everything else and just not buy it. And you probably gonna think that the shit don't work.
Exactly, because you haven't spent no time around qualified leads.
Right. As soon as you get around some people that's gonna get it.
So when we talk about lead gen, why qualifying forms are important is because you're trying to collect information about those people to see if they are good leads. So if you got a good lead and I sell it to somebody, let's say solar panels, the average person needs to have $70,000, $80,000 a year that they make in income in order for them to be able to purchase solar panels. That's average of what you see that they need. Well, now on my form, I'm going to ask them, how much do you make a year? What's your annual salary? And I might put that because we want to make sure that you get the best tax credits or whatever it is to get the lead. But once I've sent them through a set of questions, now I have a qualified lead. I send it over there. They're more likely to close. And then once I start sending them quality leads, they're going to be like, yeah, just keep sending them. We're going to keep sending you money. It's really that simple. And the same thing applies to your own business. If you think of lead gen that way, that you're going to look at all these different avenues to generate leads, then what happens is your business has something that can sustain. If I can bring 100 people in my business a month, now all I got to do is do the next thing, which is lead conversion.
Book dick.
I guess it's kind of
Book dick.
That ain't no book dick. It came to my head, so I had to say it. Book dick.
Yeah. And the in crowd, Will said he for sure didn't like that Drake album because nobody else liked it. That's
Why?
not the truth. It's not the truth.
Why can I not see the chat? What is going on here?
Maybe you have to refresh it because I definitely can see the chat.
I've been sitting here looking at this chat,
You like, damn.
and I don't like it. Dang.
Man, what you had going on? I don't even think that's the most updated version of the Oh, it is. It definitely is.
What's up, y'all? I couldn't even see.
Shout
the
out to
chat.
everybody in chat. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all send this out. Now, lead generation. That's what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next part of this is lead conversion. So now that you've got a lead, now that you got leads coming in consistently, the next problem you're going to probably run into as a business is how do you turn that lead into a customer? And this is when we talk about understanding sales psychology. You want to hear some simple sales psychology that people don't understand? And I've used this so many times, and it's so simple. Actually, Google teaches this to their sales reps, but the process I've seen and read in so many books is the same thing. Most people, when they try to sell them, they'll get on the phone and they'll do this. Let's just run through a sample. Let's say you're calling me, D. Let's see if we can do this live on air. So act like you're calling.
Bleep.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? What's up?
So let me tell you about the benefits and features of my product. I'm going to say this product.
Don't want it.
Not exactly, right?
Don't want the shit. Call me back.
Now, that may seem simple, but do you know why that happens? Does anybody know why that happens? It's because most people don't understand before you can sell a product, you got to know what a person wants. Even if they're calling about a product that seems very simple on the surface. So, for example, a better way to approach things is what they call T-points. So first thing people do on a sales call, they build rapport, which is they do something in order to make sure, there kind of is a connection there. Then the next thing you do is you want to ask questions to find out their needs. Now, let's say I was selling web development services. True, a person knows they want a website, but the reason they might be on the fence about buying a website is because they don't understand how that's going to actually help their brand. I may be talking to them and I'll be like, what are you trying to do with your website? Well, I want to get more brand visibility. I want to do marketing. Now, just because they said they want to do marketing, I might be able to tell them, like, look, we're going to put these things in your website. We're going to put pixels. We're going to optimize your website for conversions. We're going to do these things to make sure that you're able to not only build a web presence, but you're able to be ready for marketing. Does this make sense, D?
I mean, I'm laughing at these comments, P.
Are you going back to them?
Yes, dog. They over here crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at y'all comments in the chat box.
Hey, y'all, with the little smiley. Hey.
Man, I love the Mama's House Penthouse audience.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is you want to do, they call it the T point, but other sales presentations is first is rapport. If people don't like you, if they don't feel some type of good feeling about you, they're probably not going to buy from you. So even if somebody calls, I try to make sure my voice, my tonality is very good because I understand that you can build rapport by asking questions, but you can build rapport by giving them a feeling.
That's the best way to do it because if we don't like you, we don't spend no money.
We don't spend no money. What's that old clip you used to have?
I don't like you. I don't spend my money.
I don't spend my money. Good. I want good shit. I forgot what you said. That shit was.
It's on there. It's archive.
Yeah.
Cowboy Radio come out. I'm an archiving everything.
You bringing it back? We gonna talk about Cowboy Radio before we get out.
I'm an archive everything on the page. We starting fresh.
Okay, we got lead gen, right? Lead conversion. So after that, after you've actually got the questions and you got questions about them and you got their needs and their pain points, then you're gonna take those things that they just said and tie them to how your product solves those problems. That's really the best thing you can learn about lead conversion. Even when you make a sales page or a landing page or a VSL letter, it's all about understanding the customer's problems and then repeating them back to them. That's what good lead conversion is. Certain things on page are meant to convert leads. When you go to e-commerce stores, why you think there's testimonials on there? Why you think there's product demonstrations? All that stuff is to try to answer all your questions in your head about why you may not buy something.
I wish you're a personal barber. The landing page was up. Mm-hmm. That was the anybody who was like a stylist or a barber, that could have been a amazing lead gen source for them. Like just the page, just seeing the language on there, like just seeing like what like words we decided to use on the titles. Like when you watch the VSL letter back, you'll see like a lot of the words that we decided to use in there. is gearing towards that. Like that's what it's on.
For sure. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you get the leads. Now you got to convert the leads, and you got to use these tools to convert the leads. And these are the things you want to use, right? So even getting people on places where you can sell them again, email lists, giving them free giveaways. These are things that you use to convert leads. And by understanding the different levels and how you do this, it makes a very powerful tool. And these are the things you have to learn nowadays to become very good at really surviving in the new economy, in the new world. Because think about this. The influencers that you know, all of them are using these type of strategies, the best ones. The best ones are using these type of strategies. The ones who may have 100K followers, or 20K followers, but they're making a bunch of money is because they understand these things. So imagine those people with 1 million followers.
Right.
Those people with $15 million that can't pay rent. But the whole thing is because they haven't learned how to monetize that audience, because they haven't learned these new rules of success. They got all that attention and don't understand. They already got the one thing they need to really be successful.
You
really make them some money. They don't know how to create a funnel and use these tools we talking about.
You got the leads, man. Leads right there.
So how do we lose camera 2 went out? Is it dead?
I'm not sure which one is to me.
This one.
The middle.
Camera.
It's blinking green.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it lost its juice. Anyway, we good. We still got these 2 cameras. So, but basically, that's one of the biggest things when it comes to lead gen and stuff like that. And I think that's the most powerful thing that you can look at is how you can make sure that you take those leads, convert those leads. And once you convert those leads, we'll talk about the last thing you can do, which is lead retention. So lead retention is something a lot of people don't talk about. And that's basically, how do you keep those people around after you've actually had that first conversion? I don't know if you know this. They say it's cost 7 times more to get a new customer than to sell to a customer that you already have.
Makes sense. Because of the amount of times a person got to see just the average ad to get converted in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, you got to see something like, and there 100 times for you buy it.
And we had that thing about effective frequency, and we talked about that. But I think the biggest thing here is, okay, so there's 3 ways that they say you can grow a business. Some people say 4, but 3 ways, right? You can sell to a new customer, you can get a customer to buy again, and you can raise the size of your transaction, which means, let's say you sold to somebody. Let's say you have a $10 product. If you sell 2 $10 products, you doubled your business. You sell 4, you get them saying, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. If you take that same customer and sell them another $10 product, where you also doubled your business. So you could imagine if you take 100 and you get all of them to buy again, you basically double the amount of money you make. So that's why it's multiple ways to grow your business. Other thing that you could do is, so you get a customer to buy again, you get a new customer, right? Or you raise the size of a transaction, which means, okay, every customer comes in, instead of paying 10, they now pay 20. These are ways to raise the business. Now, if you've got a good customer list, you got people coming in already, you spent money to generate these leads. Now what you can do is you can start bringing people in by basically selling to them again. And I think this is the reason why when people don't have a strong business, because they don't focus on this last aspect. Even if they do the first 2 really well, they have no programs in place to retain those customers and get them to purchase over and over and over again. And to me, this is the bedrock of business. Even if you do influence, even if you do anything, if you can build communities and spaces where these people can always be there, when you find the people who are willing to purchase from you and you actually give them something that's viable,
right,
you put yourself in a position to really dominate anything that you do. And I think that's super powerful. And that's why I believe these are the new rules of success.
You need them.
So
don't go into the future operating like the past.
So I guess let's just kind of do a recap, and then we can go to our final thoughts, and then we can really get out of here. But just to recap, so the first thing we talked about, and I'm gonna put them in this order because I like this order one. Change your map. Understand the map that you're going through. If it's a more entrepreneurial map, you're gonna have to run the game a little bit different than anybody else. That's the first thing. The second thing we talked about. I switched them up, so kind of fucked them up a little bit. Become a facilitator.
Yep.
So become somebody who facilitates industries. Find the ways where you can jump in the middle and become a lead generator. We talked about that in detail. Become somebody who generates leads. You jump in the middle of that, and all of a sudden you have your ability to do things that a lot of people are not doing.
You can just become a money printer.
You would really literally print money.
You can print your own money. Just jump in your little pool whenever you want to get some money and pull it out of there.
Next thing, you're not a business, man. You're a business, man. And all that means is basically you become a business. Start thinking in terms of business. And how do we do that? We do that by learning the 3 fundamentals. No matter what business you do, no matter what you do in life, if you master those 3 things, which is lead generation, lead conversion, lead retention, I promise you, you will never worry about money. Ever, ever, ever worry about money.
It's true.
Once you master those funnels, you will never worry about money. It won't be a thing. You'll understand exactly how to make more money. You understand how to take any business and make money. You understand what all the top people in every industry understand about money. That's why salespeople get paid so much money. That's why lead generators get paid so much money, because they are the bedrock of a business. All the other stuff that we think are logos and all that type of stuff, yes, that is important. But I'm telling you,
sales.
if you get that sales funnel down, lead generation, lead conversion, lead retention, I promise you, you will never, ever worry about anything. You'll be able to do whatever you want in life. You'll walk around with a confidence that most people do not walk around with, because you're going to be like, I got this. I know what the fuck to do.
Right. I know what the hell. What you saying?
Yeah. So with that being said, you want to give them your final thoughts, D?
Yep. And you know, final thoughts from the Penthouse. And you know, as far as everything that we just kind of talked about, I guess my final thoughts are really becoming the honeypot. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure that, what I mean by the honeypot is like making yourself as valuable as hell, like down to the, gristle, anything you could think of. So that way you can attract more to you, more people that are around you. You know, your cousin could be a lead for a car company, you know, and you don't have to feel bad about it. Somebody who's gonna get paid might as well be you, right? So develop the mindset of just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna go get the money that I deserve. You know what I'm saying? I pay rent too. I have bills just like the rest of these people out here too. If I ask for my fee in between, anybody who making large transactions understand that there's a person in between that's gonna get their fee. They don't care. They just want the item. You'll notice that. So just stand in between it and get your money until you become the person that's just buying the shit out of everything. You know what I'm saying? My final thoughts.
My final thoughts is just switch the way you think about business. And the reason we do podcasts like this is so you can switch the way you approach business, the way you approach life, in order to create a future where you're in control. That's really why we do this content. That's why we go over this content. That's why I get on here and talk to y'all as much as I do. And that's why I get on here and bring people to talk to you about different aspects and different angles. We'll bring rappers on here, bring all kind of people. Whoever has to be shown to you that has similar backgrounds to you to make you understand it's the way you think about yourself. Think about yourself as somebody who can't do this shit, and you're not gonna be able to do it, because I promise you, just like I told you today, simple things like lead generation, lead conversion, lead retention are the things, but are you confident enough to get on that phone when somebody calls you after you've generated a lead,
right,
tell that person? Are you confident enough to ask that person for enough money in order to do the service correctly? Are you scared to ask them for a couple $100s because you feel like you're not worth it? That is the huge thing when it comes down to this. So changing the way you think. Old statement, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, really goes down to saying, I can give you all the tools, but I can't give you the confidence to implement and execute on things we're talking about. I promise, if you watch this stuff, you get into a lot of stuff that we have available to you, you will find the path to the success you want. It's just a matter, are you going to execute on those things? And are you going to use those things when you get to the level of success that you're capable of? I guess with that being said,
Yes, sir. Big Cowboy, you know, country cowboy on our social media platforms. Rock with the kid that did. You get where I'm going? Countrycowboy.com, 2 Y's at the end of Cowboy. Make sure that you tap in with me, man. You know what I mean? I got the credit do it yourself, DIY. Well, I couldn't think of that. I got the do it yourself credit program. The booklet available. Make sure that you tap in with that, because credit is what you need in order to like go ahead and get a head start. All of the magical people who own stuff are operating in certain ways, and you just got to develop the mindset so you can get in the game too. That's all. And then so that way you feeling the best, get Cowboy Fitness. You know what I'm saying? It's the next book on the list. When you go to countrycowboy.com, you'll see it. Make sure you just grab Cowboy Fitness because if you look good, you feel good, you do good, so on and so forth. The last booklet on there is the influencer. Make sure that you tap in with the influencer and really, develop all of the influential principles that you need in order to be successful out here in these streets. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to be a better cousin, you can be you could be more influential to your family members. You could be a more influential teammate. If you want to inspire your teammates and things of that nature, you need to develop and embody these, you know what I'm saying, principles so that way you're at best. If you're a stylist in Houston, if you're a stylist around town, you don't even need to be in Houston, around the world. You could be in Canada and you watching this right now.
Mozambique.
You could be anywhere you want. Long as you know Houston is a spot to be. The Hair Splitter 24-hour salon is open right now. Damn! And we not closing, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, we are accepting applications for stylists. We hired at least 3 to 4 stylists this week, and we had a lot of barbers coming in and out too as well. So if you know any other scissor hands in the city or the, you know what I'm saying, the golden hands that put together the coolest hairdos, you need to tell them tap in with the Hair Splitter team. Tell them tap in with Prinston. Tell them tap in with myself, Diamond Hopkins. We are looking for the best. Other than that, P, yourself.
Yeah, man. Prinston Hicks on everything. PRINSTONHICKS. PRINSTONHICKS. Tap in with us. DJ already told you everything about like the hair spittle, things like that. So tap in over there. But what I will say is make sure you go to PrinstonHicks.com. I just spelled it for you. Go there because it's got everything you need. And we're going to be launching some major programs that I'm literally putting together to help hold your hand through this process of success. A lot of these concepts I talk about, I got them laid out for you in a simple path that you can take to start making money, start living a more abundant life. So first thing I want y'all to check out right now is Massive Action Business, which can be found on massiveactionbiz.com, massiveactionbiz.com, $7 course. Go through there, get your money up. It's going to show you how to organize your business in less than 2 hours.
2
hours. 2.
Not 1. Damn. Not 45 minutes.
2 hours. You're going to have all the knowledge you need if you just want to sit it and watch it.
You do need this information, y'all.
If you want to watch it in one sitting, you can do that. If you want to go a little bit more in depth, How to Start a Business in 30 Days was a little bit more in depth. 50 plus videos, HD videos is teaching everything about business, everything from marketing, everything from sales, everything about lead generation, lead conversion, all the stuff we talk about in this show. We're sitting down right there with the information organized, years of organization, perfectly organized to deliver right to you in the best quality possible with the most clearest descriptions, distinct descriptions possible to give you full value and make money. That's How to Start a Business in 30 Days, howtostartabusinessin30days.com. Super simple. Go there, check it out, and get everything you need. And if you want to go even further than that, I want y'all to look out for what's coming in the future. I want y'all to look out for Massive Action Mentorship. Massive Action Mentorship is a program that is literally going to hold your hand the entire way of the process. Look, we put this thing together. We put the thing together because we've seen so many people reaching out to us on Mama's House, the Penthouse, on our podcast and saying to ourselves, you know what? We need a step-by-step procedure in order to go from wherever we are in life to become successful. So I don't care where you're at in life, what you're doing in life. Massive Action Mentoring will help you get everything right. We analyze not just your business life, but your personal life, and we mentor you to the point of where you can become successful. Exercises, strategies, and accountability that's going to help you get to that next level. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to continue tapped in. That's going to be launching pretty soon here. And if you're ready, you can get into the beta program, which is going to be a lot cheaper than the final program when it's all fleshed out. So look out for that and make sure that you tapped in with us. Besides that, like DJ said, tap in with the hair spittle, tap in with us on everything. We're going to continue to go up. We're going to continue to do bigger things on the podcast. And D, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
Cowboy Radio coming soon, baby.
Damn, we should talk about that
Wednesday.
nothing. Started from the bottom. I see it with a clear eye. So I hustle.
Mama's house to penthouse. Yeah, yeah.